Three, two, one. Here we go. It's another episode of Inside Fitness Radio. Today's special guest is Brenley. Brenley, what is your last name? Let's get this correct because I have two last names.
So I have two aliases. I am married, so my married name is Brenley Cunningham, and I have not legally changed it. It's been over 5 years. I will get to that, but I've had other things on my plate, like building DripFit. And so sometimes I go by Rosenblatt, which is my maiden name, and you will see me in Inside Fitness in the same edition. One is Brenley Rosenblatt and one is Brenley Cunningham. So you can call me whatever you'd like.
There you go. So just make sure that we have your name straight because like I said earlier, we're good friends and I have two different names for you, but I don't want people to be like, who's he talking about? What is he talking about here? So we got that clear and we've been working on this for a little while. This is one of those situations where I'm good friends with you and it's like, hey, you know what? We should do a podcast. And then I went out to BC, hung out, was actually at your place, but then we get so busy talking about other things, the actual equipment never gets put out and we actually never really get to it. So we finally had a conversation a couple of weeks ago and said, hey, you know what, let's put this down, let's get this done. So I'm thank you so much for making the time. I know you're a very, very busy person. And let's start off with that. I mean, your background, obviously you're the CEO of DripFit and DrenchFit, and you are a mother of three.
I am. Yes. I have three children under the age of 4 or 4 and under, I should say. So it's been extremely busy building businesses and babies. It's been very rewarding. And I've been able to take some of the practices and the learnings that I've had as being a mom and take that to my company and take learnings from the company and being a CEO and make myself a better mother in what I think it is. I've been doing. Sorry?
Go ahead.
Oh, Terry.
This is going to happen. We're both talkers here, and we're going to jump in. But no, sorry. Finish what you were going to say.
No, I was going to go all the way back to my background, so that's going to take a little bit of time. So why don't you just pop on and let me know what you want to ask?
Yeah, you know what? Because I know we have these conversations, and you and I can definitely talk for like hours, and we can go into so many different places. And then I'm bad at like kind of getting back to what the original thing was. And I usually do like to start off some of the podcasts on where we met and how we met, kind of thing, just to give kind of people a bit of a background. People who do listen and watch this know obviously who I am, or hopefully they know a little bit about me, being in the publishing game for a long time, being around the fitness, business. And let's start off with your version.
Okay, my version. So I got set up with Terry from somebody else in the industry, and I was so excited to meet him. I actually just had my second child, and I was possibly 2 months postpartum. So I was just out from being a mom of 2, and I was in a meeting with him, and I had my incredible operations manager, Navara. She was also in the meeting, and I knew that you and I were going to be friends when I had to turn around to breastfeed my child, and you were 100% okay with it. I didn't show anything, guys, but
he was definitely. No, I didn't. Yeah, I don't think that really fazed me. I've had some meetings, and you know what, breastfeeding, hey, why not? I mean, why not? This is a free world, right? Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I had that same feeling, and it was, I meet a lot of people on a regular basis, obviously. And I think when you meet in a business environment, you know what I mean? Like really your first meeting is more like professional or like, oh, I got to meet this person. What are they going to think and all that? And I think once I kind of like walked in and said, hey, you know what, this is who I am. This is what I do. And the magazine doesn't really help me. I think sometimes people have this idea maybe of who you can be. And it obviously was very refreshing to me because I think right away we connected with values. Business is business. And I think we both can agree on we like to make money and be involved, but I think we're really connected. So back to that first meeting was I'm like, let's do some ideas. And I will say in what I do as a business owner, I like to create ideas. I deal with a lot of different supplement companies. It's usually a lot of the same type of themes. So working with a different type of product, I mean, the category wasn't brand new, but obviously what you brought to it and then listening to you, because I'm not going to lie to you, I certainly am very hesitant when people are like, oh, I got this new thing. It's amazing. I'm like, oh, okay, I've heard this before. And so, I mean, let's kind of, what got you to this point, right? Let's kind of like reverse. I said, this is when we met. We started off when we got into lots of different things, but where did you grow up? Yeah, let's start with that.
So I'm born and raised in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I'm out in Victoria, British Columbia now. Winnipeg taught me a lot of things. There was extremely nice people. It wasn't necessarily the lifestyle I wanted to lead later on. I wanted to have different types of opportunity. And I felt that BC was a perfect place to have opportunity. I went to university in Winnipeg. I thought I was going to be a doctor. I had my mindset on that, and so did my parents.
Yeah,
but I decided.
Did your parents have pressure on you to do this?
Yes, my parents pressured all of us to we'll follow our passion. You know, my dad is always saying to me, like, make sure that you're doing something that you love and that is fulfilling to you. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful. And that's why I truly believe that DripFit has been able to grow as it did because of my passion. We'll get back to that though. So I did university thinking I was going to go into the sciences. And then I got into my first kinesiology course. And I thought, this is what I want to do. I love the body. It's not that I want the science aspect of it, but I definitely want the physiology aspect of it. And I started doing the courses, and I started to build myself out as a personal trainer. And my mom actually, in my third year, got cancer, and I dropped out of school. And it was something that I had to then be with my family. I was the one who took her to all of her appointments. I was the one who took care of the whole family. I did all of our meal planning. I did all of our cooking. And it was really difficult for me at a young age. I did graduate 2 years early. So I was in university at 17. So it was a big wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, right in your face at a young age to have to grow up pretty fast.
So you're gifted?
I decided to, sorry?
Are you gifted? I mean, you graduated early, or you just like figured things out quick? Like,
I was gifted. No, I mean, everyone likes to think they're gifted. I was very smart. I actually.
Oh, you get like those awards? Like, I don't have those awards on my fridge. I mean, I wish I did, but I was, no, I wasn't in the gifted class. I could say that. But were you like they knew, like, hey, this kid's smart, obviously. So because so then you left, I mean, high school early to go right into university, and then everything, obviously a major disruption in your life, which I can only imagine at that age too. And being a young woman, you want to do things, right? I mean, then you have to deal with family, right? I mean, you have to deal with family, you have to deal with priorities. And I think it probably puts things in perspective. I mean, when something like that, any tragedy or anything, illness, I mean, it certainly can kind of maybe slow you down a little bit. And when you're younger, we tend to not think about these things and our mortality, right? So it's, so obviously this all happened. You're into fitness. Did you compete when you were younger?
So I did compete, but now going back to when my mom was going through her cancer, that's when I actually came up with the idea of creating a one-stop shop for health and fitness, somewhere where I wanted people to feel comfortable with, no matter what part of their journey they were in. I wanted to help people live their best and healthiest lives. And I wanted to showcase to people, just because you might look fit or you might look healthy, that doesn't mean that internally you are healthy. At a cellular level, you are healthy. And so that's where my passion really started with DrenchFit. And DrenchFit is my personal training company, but I'm not only a personal trainer. Even though I didn't go back to university, I continued on my education, and my education that I received in my later years is what has built me out today. So I not only did advanced sports nutrition, holistic nutrition, I'm now a certified diagnostic hormone analyst. So I'm actually able to take people through diagnostic measures, their hormone levels, and treat them with meal plans, workout plans, supplementation. And as I continue going on with my development of who I am as a person and what I wanted to give to people, I decided I wanted to create something that brought health back into the fitness industry. So I went and I started competing, Terry, because I wanted to take my body. It was the one thing I had control over, especially in hard times with my family. My mom is okay right now, thank God. She came out of it and she's healthy. But it was a huge learning experience for me. And I did want to share that with people. I didn't want to hide away from it. I didn't want it to define me or define my mom, but I wanted it to help me grow as a person, as well as help others accomplish the same thing. So learning how to use what's around them to build a healthier lifestyle. Now, I competed, and what I recognized in the back end of competing is you look and you think those people are the healthiest people you've ever seen. Well, of course, because they look that way. They're toned, they're lean, they're beautiful for 2 seconds when they're on stage. And then when they're off stage, all of a sudden I see people, they're binging in the back, or they might gain a little bit of weight after the show. And when I mean a little bit, a lot of times people blew up. And I thought, this is not the epitome of health. This isn't what I anticipated going into this industry. And so my vision was to bring health back into fitness. So you can achieve that look, you can achieve that level of body percentage, but you can do it properly, and you can do it taking care of your hormones. You can do it taking care of your mental health, because a lot of people do go downhill mentally after a show. Well, what's next? Well, what do I have to work for? This was an achievement, and now I don't feel like I have anything in my next steps in my life. So I wanted to really bring that health aspect back to fitness and show people that you can have both.
Yeah, I think it's obviously very unique and amazing. And fitness is fitness. I've been around it for 20 years. Back in the day, it was more like the bodybuilding and sculpting, and health, I mean, wasn't really talked about. I came across some of the bodybuilders and some of these big guys, and I thought they were, I mean, in the magazines and stuff, I thought they were like, looked amazing and they were healthy, but they weren't necessarily healthy. And I agree with you. And I mean, everyone, as you get older, and I've got the gray hair to prove it, your outlook changes. Like being 22 in the bodybuilding world, all the guys are big and jacked up, and I kind of wanted to be like that, but I wasn't going to do the drugs or any of this type of stuff. And to be honest with you, I really like food, so I went in the opposite direction. And then as I got older, I started to lose weight. Had my situation where I just wanted to change my life. And, I think people have their own reasons, and for whatever it is. And I think, and when we started doing the boot camps, and this was something, I'm not going to lie to you, I will be totally honest with you. When we came up with this idea, and I had said to you, I'd done different types of things like this, and you really kind of liked the idea. I thought, okay, we'll kind of do one, and, it'll be like, because we did one at the gym, and it was really cool and it was great. And, but I kind of saw, like, both of our eyes were like, okay, this is something really cool. You took it a step further. And I do love this about you, but I also go, holy smokes, I swear. We're going to do like 2 or 3 of these boot camps in like 2 days. And then we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And then I started to see that you have this energy about you. Where does this energy come from? Because that's the one thing, and I'm not that old, but I do see that you are different than most people as far as your intentions are there, but you have this crazy energy to do it. Where does it come from?
I have no idea. I've had it my whole life. I knew I was destined to do something big in my life, and I'm a person of passion. So I have something lit inside of me, and I want to share it with the entire world, and nothing can stop me. And when I get excited about something, as you very well know, there's many times I call Terry and I say, I have a great idea. And I'm pacing in my house and I'm so excited, I even start to sweat. And that is inside of me innately. I can't get rid of it, no matter if I try. And when I put my energy forth into a project that I believe in, a project that I know is going to empower so many people, and the ability for us to come together and utilize both of our platforms, we hit so many people across Canada. And what I receive back from people, and the feedback and the energy and the appreciation, that's what fuels me.
Yeah, I agree with you totally, and I'm so happy that, like I said, I was like, okay, we're gonna do this thing. We'll give it a go. And then I mean, I'll give you a lot of credit, you and your team, that took it to another level. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest here. Yes, I could bring the magazine. We have the exposure. We have a certain thing. I don't have a ton of people, to do these types of events, and they are very, very well done. They are free. People come out. We typically have a very extensive waiting list, and we have to add some of the events to it. And I can't wait, because I know we will be doing these events again. And I, like I said, I feed off of it too. I mean, going out there, and we went to a UFC gym, which was like more, remember the first one was kind of like more fitness people and our typical type of fitness models. And it was cool. And then you took me over to a yoga studio, and let's talk about that, because Oxygen Yoga, which, I've been now to a couple of them out in the West Coast. Why did we want to go to the studio? What was your whole thinking about that?
So really, to be honest with you, I moved to Victoria. I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody here. I moved because my husband was from here, and he really wanted to have a bigger property. He wanted to have our children grow up where he grew up. So I came out here and I closed my business. I had my personal training studio, that it was a one-stop shop for health and fitness. I had an incredible clientele. I had an incredible family of people who were like-minded individuals there. I came here. I was like, what am I going to do? I had DripFit. I had 2 babies at the time.
Yeah.
And I went up the street and there was an oxygen yoga. So I thought, you know what? I'm in my postpartum journey and it's safe for me to go into these classes. And I'm very cautious and hesitant to go into other people's classes because I've been doing it myself for so many years. So I definitely have a style. And I walked in and the owner was there and her name is Ranj. And she is the freaking nicest, most incredible human being. And the same feeling that I felt when I met you, Terry, I felt when I met Ranj. And she was just like, oh my goodness, come in, try this and see if you like it. And we can get together, we can have some wine. And she was so welcoming and it just made me feel at home. And I started going to her studio and I recognized that what I had worked so diligently at in creating a community for everyone at Drench and at DripFit and creating this supportive network, she had done at Oxygen Yoga. Now, I love Oxygen Yoga. I love infrared saunas. I have one downstairs in my house. I created DripFit similar to how an infrared sauna works from the inside out. It works at a cellular level. It has to have a reason to work. It helps detoxify the body. Now, this is also with them practicing yoga in an infrared sauna, or yoga, I say yoga, but it was high intensity HIIT classes that I went to. And there was no doubt in my mind as I continued to go and see what she had created and developed that I needed to collaborate with her a little bit more. And it's been my dream to build people up. And as a trainer, you only have the ability to do so much as one person. DripFit gave me that platform to do even more and to build other people up and to use our platform to showcase the incredible capabilities of so many others in the communities or across North America, I'll say. And then pairing up with you gave me the next step where I could then take business owners and we could bring them up because they don't get enough credit and they only have their small communities, but they're doing so much to build these people and empower these people that I want the world to know. So us putting it in the magazine was a no-brainer.
Yeah, and that grew because I kind of like put that out there as far as, oh, we're gonna get our feet wet. And that's one thing I actually did learn from you is I've been doing it for so long. I love magazines. I love touching, feeling them, and all that. And I mean, because you're younger than me, and I kind of think, okay, magazines maybe for like older people and all that. But the fitness community, it's a family, it's a culture, right? People who are not into fitness, it's not like have to be someone who's in crazy shape. It's just you have to be into the mindset. You have to be into and I typically find people do want to help each other. Right? I mean, that's what I say. It's like, yeah, I've been around the bodybuilding and the competitors, and there could be the good and the bad. But typically, like if you do call, I see that with the DripFit team, is that they all kind of work together. And that was the first thing that I saw. It's like as a community. And I kind of had this feeling, because I said to you too, I said 30, 40 people. I said, you crazy? I like to do like 200 people. Let's get in front of like hundreds of people. And you're like, no. And I didn't want to mess with your vision because I am a business guy and I try to think, oh, let's, get them to get bigger and all that. But when you said that, I said, okay, let's do this. And then it started to grow and grow. And I think it'll lose if we we can do certain things that may be on a bigger scale eventually. I think that would certainly be interesting. And the one thing that I will say too is it's very unique. You know what I mean? We've done lots of different boot camps. Everyone's got their own boot camps. And I strongly encourage people to do what they want to do to make themselves active. But being in the room, I have not done a boot camp, and I'm a little scared to do
scared. Yeah.
Because, and then, I mean, it's just the energy and then how it starts off, just describing it to people won't really do it justice. And I strongly, urge anyone out there, obviously watching this, is to check out some of your videos. I mean, if they don't know who you are, hopefully they'll go out and take a look at you. And this is all real. I will say that. I mean, there's no fake bullshit. It's not like the camera's going to stop and you're going to be a different person. And I do appreciate about you. And let's talk about the product, because DripFit, like I said, there's a whole community, there's a whole family to it. But let's actually talk about why, because when you did tell me about the product, I've worked with other companies in the past. It's not a new area, but I'm like, why? What makes your product what makes it better than others? But what makes it, unique?
Okay. So I actually first came up with the idea to come out with an all natural product that I could use during my pregnancy. As I said, I did go and I was a competitor for many years, and I ended up going to Arnold's. I did nationals in Canada, and I am a little bit vain, as most people are that are in the fitness
Yeah.
industry. And to save my vanity, no, but also my mental health. So keeping physically fit during my pregnancy was really important for me. I get onto the treadmill because I want to be mentally showing up for myself. I want to feel good, not just look good. And I knew that I wasn't able to take any other supplements during pregnancy. It's very much poo-pooed. But I wanted to say, hey, why don't I come up with things that could be extremely beneficial for a growing woman in her journey, and safe for her and safe for baby. And it's very selfish because I was creating it for myself. I did not think that it was going to hit it off like it did, but it was very important to the integrity of the product. It's all natural, 100% all natural. There's no artificial dyes, preservatives, fillers, nothing in it that should not go on your body, nothing in it that shouldn't go on your baby's body, or when you're breastfeeding, if the baby gets it in their mouth, that's okay. I mean, it doesn't taste good, so don't do that. But the vision that I had was to be safe for anybody, and every ingredient had a purpose. So I wasn't just throwing things in there. Now, I'm very fortunate because I had access to homeopaths, herbalists, master holistic medicine, compounding pharmacists. So this is not something that just came out of my head and I have no background with science. I had a team of people helping me and making sure that my vision was going to come to fruition, but also had a purpose and a reason that it works. So I wanted every ingredient. There needed to be a reason. Why am I sweating? What people don't recognize about DripFit is sweat is only the byproduct. That's not actually, yes, it's a sweat intensifier, but it's a workout accelerator. So it will help your body function better because of the ingredients that are in it. Magnesium is one of our active ingredients that increases vasodilation, blood flow, circulation. When you increase the diameter of the blood vessels, it increases the amount of heat production within the body. When I'm working out, I'm increasing the heat production within my body. My body's natural defense to that is what? Cooling itself off. So I sweat more. So that's number one. We have a reason why it works. Castor oil, same idea. Castor oil has been widely used in the natural health industry, and it is great for people who are suffering from autoimmune. It's great for people who need to get that circulation. So it helps circulate at a topical level, and it also helps shuttle toxins to the liver to obviously be released out of the body. So again, there's another second active ingredient. And when I'm talking about active ingredients, it's causing a physiological effect in the body. It's actually doing something inside of the body. Now, as a pregnant lady, I also thought about my skin. I knew I was going to be using something on my skin that was going to help me throughout to decrease the visibility of stretch marks, to make sure that my skin would be able to bounce back after. Now, I've had my first baby and I couldn't believe what my skin felt like. I just didn't know if it was ever going to be the same. And this is when I was doing the trials with DripFit, and my skin felt so incredible. There's ingredients in there that are going to help with lines, wrinkles, scars. There's ingredients in there that are going to help collagen retention and production. So again, every ingredient, every oil that's in there is for purpose. It's antiseptic, antifungal, antimicrobial. So it will not clog your pores. Everything was thought about when I put these ingredients.
I was going to say that because I've told people in the past, like, oh, it's just like it clogs your pores and that's why you sweat. And I'm like, I don't understand this. Like, so I mean, that does not happen.
So there are products out there that do create a film on your skin, and that's what holds the heat in. And that is 100% something that's going to clog your pores. I don't know if you remember, in the 1980s when people would go to the gym with garbage bags on. That's the same idea. So it's creating a topical barrier. So with our product, it's not creating a topical barrier. We do have oils in there that are going to help defend from oxidative stress, from the environment, any types of toxins coming into the body, anything. You have to remember your skin is your biggest organ. So what you put on it is going to go directly into your blood. It's going to directly affect what's happening in your body. Our active ingredients are absorbed almost instantly into the bloodstream. And then that's where the magic works. So it's not actually creating a barrier. It's absorbed internally and at a cellular level.
It's awesome. And I mean, it's no surprise that you've taken this brand from its infancy, really. I mean, how many years now has it been?
3. We just had our 3rd birthday, but we forgot about it because we were too excited getting people kickstarted on these challenges that we're doing at DripFit. So we didn't celebrate.
No 3rd birthday celebration. Well, we're certainly going to have a celebration for sure. But I mean, you've done quite a bit. I mean, getting the product out there, like I said, and what I appreciated was it was on a smaller scale. I deal with a lot of guys, a lot of dudes, and I don't know, the mentality of the supplement world, because I deal with so many guys that it's like go big, kind of get something really, big going, where your approach was more targeted. And then as these, I mean, let's talk about how many different events we have done. We've done 3 out west in BC at least.
No, we did.
3, 4.
There was 2 just this last time, plus 2 the other time. So that was 4 in BC that we had.
Yeah.
And we had 3 in Ontario. And we
One
went to
in
Ottawa, Montreal.
Yeah, Oakville. Then we went up to in Ontario, near Alliston, Spill, that area, right? We a little north.
Yeah, we went to the Babe Cave.
Yeah, the Babe Cave. That's right. And then Ottawa. You went to Ottawa and Montreal.
Oh, we went to Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, that's right. And that we worked out with the Popeyes team there, the Winnipeg Popeyes team, and that was really cool because these are, guys who sell supplements were involved. In that game. So actually, to get into something, it was something a little bit different. You know what I mean? And it was kind of a good team building stuff, and the energy was, I thought it was fantastic. And because Winnipeg, let's be honest, I'm not going to knock it too much. I love Canada. But Winnipeg, guys, it's not exactly on my number one spot to go to.
Can I tell you a funny little story?
Yes, please.
My dad says, we were driving to Winnipeg because they were living in BC at the time. We were driving to Winnipeg and everybody else was going the other way. Yeah. We were the only car driving to Winnipeg. Mm-hmm. I make a joke about that. Obviously, I love it. I grew up there, but yeah, I knew I wasn't going to be there for my whole life, but I do appreciate all the people that are still there.
So let's talk about family. Let's talk about some of the challenges, Brenley, because I've been to your place. I've hung out with your husband, your family, your mom, obviously, the kids. And you're young, but having 3 kids, young, like little ones, anyone who doesn't have kids, like it's a lot different than having puppies or kittens. These kids, I'm surprised right now that you're actually been left alone. This is great. Yeah. So some of the challenges, in starting it, because there's women out there who may think, she's pretty, or she's just this, that, she may have been given things. I don't know, what people may have said to you in the past, but, what do you?
So first I want to say, that's a really interesting thing to say and to ask. When I was growing up, my father is very inspiring. He's a compounding pharmacist. He's a master of holistic medicine. He never gave me anything. He always made me work for it. So when I came up with the idea about DripFit, he literally said, "That's a great idea. Figure it out. Figure it out yourself." I built DripFit. I built Drench all by myself. My parents, if I wanted $10 for gas, my dad would say, "Well, what are you going to do to make that $10?" It wasn't like, here's a handout. When I was starting this out, both my parents were extremely supportive, and they said, "How can we help?" And I said, all I want is your support. And that's it. And I pride myself on that and the ability for me to put forth all the energy, put forth the monetary backing in order to build this up. I came from a wonderful family, a very supportive family, a family that is capable to help me and back me, but they never did. They gave me that support and that backbone. And that's exactly what I needed from them. Being a mom, it is so inspiring to me to be a businesswoman, to be a CEO of a very successful company, and to be empowering people outside in a community. For my children to see me as a woman, that to me is the best gift I could ever have. For them to learn and see me working, they understand what emails are. They understand what podcasts are. They understand these types of things. They also understand that sometimes mommy has to have her alone time because she's talking to Terry on the phone or whatever it might be. Now, in saying that, I have a really, I've worked from home since I moved to Victoria. So my kids are used to me being at home, and I have a desk, I have an office upstairs, and I don't use it. I have a table in our family room, and my kids are doing Play-Doh, and my kids are doing everything that they do. And I'm sitting at the table on one of their children's stools that's about this big on my computer on the table. And that's the way I run the business. And if they want to play with me, I take out 15 minutes and I make sure that they know that I'm their mommy first. I'm very busy. I work 16 hours. I wake up in the morning. The first thing I do at 6 o'clock is I answer all of my emails, usually over 100. I set myself up so at 8 o'clock, I can provide my children with breakfast. I can be present with them at least for an hour. That's when usually now my husband will go work out and have his alone time. My husband is a stay-at-home dad now. That is very it's such a wonderful thing. Obviously, he's a wonderful partner.
Engaged guy, very,
He,
very, very good guy. I mean, definitely has the patience, to
yeah,
manage things and all that. I mean, it's a sacrifice too, because him and I have talked about it. I mean, it's a sacrifice. Like he could go out and work and do things he needs to do, but I mean, this point in your life, I mean, and kudos to him too, because I mean, allowing you is when you're a team, I don't say allowing you really, I should maybe not the right word, but when you're starting a business, there's time, there's focus. If the both of you had businesses, for example, what I mean, how difficult it would be really, I mean, with three little ones, right? So
absolutely.
it is a
I
very,
couldn't do this. I could not be where I am today or do what I do without him being at home. And I asked him if he would be okay with it. He ran a youth development center in Burnaby, and it was with at-risk youth. And he found that very fulfilling. It was children who didn't have support at homes. It was children who were abused, battered. It was people that were in relationships that turned toxic and then turned deadly. Like there was issues that he shared with me that he had to help people through, and he just loved being able to help lift people up in his own industry, I guess.
yeah,
And it was very difficult for us to move here, and the one thing that he misses is his job, but at the same time he never wanted to lose out time seeing his children grow. So we do have a really incredible system between the two of us. Again, I couldn't do it without him. There's no doubt about that. So
yeah. I mean, he's had his own struggles, his own, story in life. And obviously, it puts perspective into things, right? I mean, and like I said, I mean, kudos to him because he's right. I mean, if you spend the time, you can make things work the way you can like that. I mean, he's got the patience for it, and I think when you're married or if you've got a partnership, people have to support each other. That at the end of the day, it is sacrifice because not always. I'm pretty sure it's not always going to be great because there's things that you have to do. There's birthdays sometimes. There's certain events that may have to be a little bit behind, weddings or whatever it is that you may miss. And but I think it pays off, and then obviously you're creating and you're helping other people, right? So I mean, and I guess he sees that obviously in what you're doing, and I think obviously being in your home and seeing the way your mom is and like your family, like I said, I see that part of it. It's very refreshing because my parents support me in what I do. They don't really get what I do. They don't necessarily understand what I do. When I first met your mom, she asked me a lot of questions about my business and my life and all that. And she's a very interesting person. Your mom certainly, and can she cook? I mean,
yes.
I admit I'm unbelievable cook. She cook, and she had a catering business. I mean, you're not like your parents obviously doers. You know what I mean? Your mom's done things in the past, and when you talk to her too, I mean, it's so cool to hear some of the stories and how big she got actually with catering. It was massive. Like that's stressful to me. Like catering would be, yeah, because
But
people.
if I can say anything for both my parents, they followed their passion, and it didn't matter how much work they had to put in because they were so driven. Because again, it was that fire within them, and that's something that they both passed on to me from both of their sides. And that's something that my husband recognizes. If I don't get it out with DripFit, or I don't get it out by teaching classes or doing boot camps or continuously creating, it's going to be energy on him. And he's like a laid back, calm, cool, collected guy, and I'm up here, so he needs me to expend my energy elsewhere.
Yeah, it works, right? I mean, some people, the relationships work and all that. So you found what works for you guys, and I mean that's fantastic. Now, what is going to be next for you? What is on? Obviously, with COVID-19 happening, we probably were going to be in like Hawaii or something. I think by now
We were, yeah, in
we had
May.
these plans. I was like, oh, Hawaii. I mean, let's go to Hawaii. I'll do that. But what's next? What's on the agenda for you?
So I think with COVID, a lot of businesses took a different road than I decided to take. My first instinct was, what can I do to help? What can I do to support those who are losing their jobs? What can I do to help stimulate people, keep people on track, help people? And this is going to tie into your question because it is going to tell you where we're headed next. So with my personal training company, I was already doing an ab challenge. And then we decided to do a free ab challenge and get our ambassadors from DripFit involved. So then they can have teams under them. We ended up having over 550 people in this free ab challenge. Now, this ab challenge, whenever I do challenges, I educate people, again, mind, body, soul. Let's talk about the endocrine system. Let's talk about your hormones. Let's talk about physiological depression versus psychological depression. Let's talk about symptoms that you're feeling and red flags that you might be seeing in your life to help you achieve a greater success. So at this time during COVID, when people were feeling down, it gave them something to lift them up. They received an email, they read it every day, they received exercises, they had this community pushing them, helping them rise. And the amount of people, the feedback that I got, you got me through the first month of COVID. It was so incredible. Then we decided to do a booty challenge. Again, a huge group of people decided to do this. And this is across North America. This is in the United States and in Canada. And everybody had their DripFit on and everybody was super excited doing their waterfall Wednesdays. They just felt so empowered. And at this type of time in our life, if I could do anything to help build people up, and then I realized how many ambassadors we have on our team that are personal trainers.
Yeah.
They're personal trainers and they can't work. They can't get into the gym. They can't do what they love. They can't even, make money to be able to put food on the table. If I was in that position, I would want help. I would want guidance. So I decided to start templating my personal challenges from DrenchFit and help build out these personal trainers to do online challenges with their clientele. So right now we have about 16 challenges going on again across Canada. It's unbelievable to see. I'm in all of these Facebook groups, and these communities it's not just empowering. It's not me empowering the trainer. It's the trainer empowering the community and the community empowering us. So we are working. This is an incredible system. And I recognize that this is where I really want our company to go. We are not just a supplement company. We are just not one product. We are a incredible product line that again is bringing health back to fitness. Every product that we come out with has a reason, has a purpose to help the body function more optimally. And now adding a service to that that's going to help people understand it isn't just about supplementation. It's not just about exercise. It's about the food that we eat. It's about our mindset. And so if we can help people understand the holistic approach to health and well-being, then I come out ahead because I've helped people thrive and succeed without even having to be there. So I always say that my clients are successful when I know they can do it on their own. And if I can give education to people and if I can provide them with the knowledge that's going to help them succeed, then again, that makes me know I'm doing my part. So the next step for DripFit is I want everyone to know DripFit as a wellness solution company. We're taking mind, body, spirit, whatever it may be that you want to work on, we are going to have a solution to help you achieve your goals.
I think it's awesome. It's fantastic. I mean, and I know you're obviously very passionate about it. And I mean, yeah, just a little passionate about this stuff. I mean, I didn't realize I had so many challenges going on. I mean, because we have these conversations every so often, and yeah, you have ideas. I mean, that's the thing too. You have a lot of ideas, so being able to get it out and express yourself. I mean, I could see that part being very fulfilling. You know what I mean? And we barely even talk about money. I don't think we've ever really even spoke about money too often. Never really in the sense of more of building sales as far as getting things going. But it's been really, our conversations were more of the events than the magazine. I think something that's been really cool. Listen, we put together 164 pages. I've put thousands of pages of content together every year. I've been doing it for almost, 14, 15 years with Inside Fitness. And when we can incorporate something that certainly has a promotional tie-in, I mean, there's a benefit because things do have to work together, but also providing a space that's now evolving into spotlights and sharing the spotlight. I mean, that's the thing too. A lot of CEOs, and I mean, a lot of guys I deal with, I mean, we all have egos. I mean, everyone has egos. I don't care who you are, guys, girls, whatever it is. But you're not utilizing the space just to pump your tires. I mean, we put ourselves out there. We have to do what we need to do. But I like that we're doing something now focused on different trainers, different people. And these are all people in the DripFit family, right?
And that's the thing right now. I'm super excited to be able to provide the opportunity for our ambassadors, people who I know have given into their communities that deserve to be showcased. And you will see in the next upcoming issues of Inside Fitness, there are a few different ambassadors that we handpicked based on their contribution in their own community. And we got to spotlight them. And to me, that's so special. That is, I want to pump other people's tires. I want to bring other people up. And that is the best gift I could ever give to myself. So I don't need to put myself out there. I don't don't need to be on the cover. I don't need to, well, maybe I should actually.
Well, yeah, you never brought that up, Brenley. I don't know, the cover. No, and I love it. I love, like I said, because we have the space to do it. I'm creating content on a regular basis. It's part of my job. You know what I mean? I love now people are like content creators, and like I've been doing that for a long time. And being unique, I think that's the thing, right? I mean, fitness is fitness. You know, there's someone tomorrow who's going to jump into doing like a trainer, and I like that, like giving back to people. I mean, I said that to you too. I mean, I like to make money. It's certainly, you know, the business building and all that, but being able to give back, you know, and that's why hopefully in the future we could do more things utilizing the magazine, leveraging. I mean, it is a brand. I think it's a very reputable brand, and being published in a magazine like Inside Fitness. And it's very, very, here's the one thing too I want people to understand is it's getting very, very hard there to be a published model nowadays, a real published model, because there is bullshit published models. And I should do a whole podcast on that, where there's photographers and people who create these BS magazines or use names, and there's actually no real magazine that's printed. Where if you go to a newsstand, I mean, we're Shoppers Drug Mart, Walmart, obviously I'm very passionate about Inside Fitness. So yeah, we capitalize on the content part of it, but it's also giving back. You know what I mean? Like, I do my part. I want to do stories, and our next issue is an inspiration issue, you know, and I'm really, really excited about this because, you know, it's like the immunity manual. When we were working on this, and I'll tell people, I'm taking over your podcast here, we were doing a nutrition issue, and then that literally was like March, right when it happened. I was like, you know what, let's hold off, even though my customers were expecting a certain thing. I'm going to do the audible and change it up a little bit. And then I called you and I explained to you, because at that time too, I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, a lot of stores close, and then you get to see, like you said too, you get to see the people who support you and the people who are out there to actually help. And like I said earlier, I'm a genuine guy. You know what I mean? I like to think that I speak from, you know, the hip, and I speak from the heart. And I like to work with people. I like to surround myself with people who have the same type of vision. So doing what we're doing, you know, I can't wait to do more. I mean, there's big plans for Inside Fitness. The inspiration issue would be good. I do want to do a cover contest. I mean, we have the Hot Fit, Brenley, we got to talk about that, which is our biggest promotion. But I would also like to do other contests, and contests are fun. It's not like to compete against. Here's the thing with fitness. It's not like you're competing with other people necessarily. You're competing against yourself. You know, it just so happens to be that doing these types of things, people are getting discovered. So they're making money. They're having a life, right? So being able to do, I mean, stuff you've done with Becky and these guys, it's great because the platform, everyone helps each other, right? Yeah. I mean, it's fantastic. So hopefully there's more things that we could do down that road. And I like the idea of planning it out and thinking about, hey, what can we do next? You know, those are actually probably more the fun conversations. And yeah, I mean,
I love being creative, and I already have a really great idea just from this conversation. So expect one of those phone calls.
There you go. Yeah. So if people want to get a hold of you, where can they find you? And are you very accessible? And I mean, I see very accessible, but if someone wants to reach out to you, you know, where would be the best place for someone to message you or to hit you up?
So anyone can email me at brenley@dripfit.ca, or you can interact with me on Instagram. I love Instagram because I get to see what the person looks like. I get to pretend like I'm actually talking to you. I go through all of my messages. I have a lot of messages every single day. I try to go through any comments, anything that I'm tagged in. It's really important for me to be present and for me to empower people and for them to know that I'm watching everything that you're doing. So please do reach out. Email me, Instagram me. If we become friends, you can text me.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I think it's just so cool. And I brought that up for a reason, because I've met with quite a few people, and they're very, I mean, like, they follow everything. And seeing, you know, my friends using the product, and it's all supporting Canadians and supporting one another, which, like I said, it's great. It's a way to give back. So, I mean, being accessible to people. I know you're busy. So if they hit you up on Instagram, you know, maybe they may have something to ask you. Certainly, I know you can put them in the right direction. And you built a great team. I mean, we can go on for hours of this podcast, but I mean, let's certainly acknowledge the team that you've built around you and all the people you have, because it's not just one person. I mean, you're out there, but there's a lot of people behind you. And the look of the brand looks great. You have SipFit. Is there any other products that we were going to talk about now? Any of the scents? Any Anything going
Well,
on?
we have a couple new scents coming out. We're going to be dropping them pretty soon here, but I can't tell you what they are just yet. But we do have SitFit, and SitFit also I created while I was pregnant. It was safe for someone pregnant to use, as well as while breastfeeding. And if we're causing somebody to sweat more and lose those electrolytes, we need to build those electrolytes back into our diet. And yes, we can get electrolytes through food, but a lot of very high caliber athletes or people who are sweating profusely, they do need to replenish. And SitFit also has no fillers, no dyes, no preservatives, nothing artificial in it. It is exactly what your body needs in order to replenish what it's lost through physical fitness and exercise. We are going to be coming out with some new products. They're going to be launching within the next couple of months here. Again, it's very exciting for me to be able to create and provide. And again, going back to that solutions, we take an issue that you would be having with your body, mind, or whatever it may be, and we're trying to provide a solution to help you live a more full, optimal life. So yes, there are new things coming, but I can't tell you yet.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe I can, bribe you after the podcast here. But
Yeah.
I think we can do a lot more of these. Like I said, it took a little bit to get us going in the first one because I'm into the teens in these podcasts, and I love to do more of this. And there's ways. We got to do a webinar. There's things that I've said to you. I know we've been really busy, but with the new, I think, outlook on life and the way we can approach things, because I don't think we'll be getting to events probably
Not this year.
Yeah, probably not to the end of the year, early next year, maybe. And we'll see, hopefully. I want to get back and just see people and all that. And maybe there's things, but I mean, virtually, like, let's do more of this. And maybe if there's a platform, let's encourage people to ask questions. I mean, mental health is stuff that I know you've got into, and you guys are definitely like the work with the causes and help people out. And I just want to be a part of the platform to get the word out there. So
that's actually something I'd love to share something really quick.
Yeah.
Yes, we are a company that's extremely focused on helping people mind, body, soul. I know I've said that many times. Yeah. I lost my cousin he committed suicide. And last year we did a unicorn launch, and it was never letting anybody dim your sparkle and believing in yourself and being who you want to be in this world. And unfortunately, his loss was a catalyst to me developing something even greater to bring more attention to people who are struggling with mental health adversities. So this was very important to me as we built the unicorn out. And we have now been doing causes, whether it be for mental health, for cancer, for COVID. We've done some COVID relief fundraising as well. But we are starting a new one July 6th. If anybody's interested in being a part of it, it is going to be a run challenge. Our ambassadors are putting together a 6-mile run challenge for you. I'm doing the templating with the HIIT workouts that are going to be for cross-training days. It's going to help you build up to a 10K. If you're already an incredible avid runner, it's going to help you get that next PR. So it's going to make you it's going to stimulate you no matter what level you're at. And then there's going to be a virtual run after, and it's going to be something that's going to be on a roster. We're going to be able to see who took part, and everything, anybody who purchases any packages from DripFit for the month of July into August, we're going to be giving a donation to the Legacy House out in Alberta, where it helps support frontline workers who are dealing with mental health adversities, especially in this time. We want to help promote, we want to help support. We did send things out to the hospitals. We sent things out to over 50 hospitals across Canada, SitFit and DripFit. DripFit more so for their cracked ears because they were changing their masks so frequently, their cracked hands because they were washing their hands every couple of minutes with hand sanitizer. So we knew that could really be beneficial for them. Again, circulation, they were on their feet, increased the blood flow. They were so thankful. The feedback that we got was so incredible, but I did not do that or instigate that for anything but giving back to the people who are giving forth all of this energy and effort to make sure that this country does come out of this ahead. Also SitFit, obviously, for rehydrating. And so it was very important to me, though COVID might be in the background of people's minds right now, it's still our reality. And I still want to make sure that all of those people that are doing out there in the community are being appreciated. So this is going to be something where we get to give back again to those frontline workers. So if anybody's interested, please drop me a line, let me know. And you can also contact me on DrenchFit Instagram, DrenchFit Instagram, or my own personal Instagram. I would love to help you guys through your next stage of your journey as well.
I love it. Brenley, thank you so much for making the time. And there's no better way to end a podcast with what you just said. And hopefully we'll do more of these. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed.